In this video, we'll be exploring the life and crimes of one of America's most infamous serial killers, Edmund Kemper, known as the Co-Ed Killer. Standing at 6'9", with an IQ of 145, Kemper was a giant in both stature and intellect, but his mind harbored unimaginable horrors. Over the span of less than a year, he claimed the lives of 8 people, including his own mother, in a spree that shocked Santa Cruz County. But his story begins much earlier, with a childhood filled with abuse and dark fantasies. Buckle up. This is the biography of Edmund Kemper. Edmund Emil Kemper III was born on December 18, 1948, in Burbank, California, to parents Clarnell Elizabeth Stage and Edmund Emil Kemper Jr. He was the middle child and only son, weighing a whopping 13 pounds at birth. From the start, Ed was different. He grew rapidly, towering over his peers by age 4, earning him nicknames like Big Ed. But behind the physical size was a brewing storm of psychological turmoil. His father, Edmund Jr., was a World War II veteran who tested nuclear weapons in the Pacific. He worked as an electrician after returning to California. But the marriage was rocky. Clarnell, a domineering and abusive alcoholic, constantly berated her husband about his menial job, leading to explosive arguments. In 1957, when Ed was just 9, his parents separated, and by 1961, they divorced. Ed and his 2 sisters, older sister Susan and younger sister Allen, moved with their mother to Helena, Montana. Life with Clarnell was hell for young Ed. She was abusive, both emotionally and psychologically, often locking him in the basement out of fear he'd harm his sisters. She'd call him a real weirdo, smack him for talking back, and withhold affection, claiming it would turn him gay. Clarnell humiliated him constantly, telling him no woman would ever love him because he was like his father, big, ugly, and awkward. Some experts speculate she may have had borderline personality disorder, which fueled her rage. Ed later described her as a sick, angry woman who made him feel like a walking time bomb. These early experiences twisted Ed's psyche. By age 10, he exhibited classic red flags of a future killer. He tortured animals, burying the family cat alive, then decapitating it and mounting its head on a spike. At 13, he killed another cat and hid pieces in his closet. He played disturbing games with his sisters, like gas chamber and electric chair, where he pretended to die convulsing. One day, his elder sister Susan teased him about kissing his teacher. Ed replied, "I'd have to kill her before I kiss her." He even sneaked out of the house with his father's bayonet to spy on her through her window. Ed's future might have also been subtly shaped by his sisters. He claimed that Susan nearly killed him twice, once by pushing him in front of a train and other time into the deep end of a swimming pool where he almost drowned. Subsequently, Ed's fantasies grew darker. He performed rites on his sisters' dolls, removing their heads and hands, foreshadowing his later crimes. In 1964, at age 14, Ed ran away to his father in Van Nuys, California, but felt rejected when his dad prioritized his new family. He was shipped off to live with his paternal grandparents, Maud and Edmund Sr., on their remote ranch near North Fork, California. There, the emasculating dynamic continued. Maud was controlling, much like his mother, and his grandfather seemed senile. On August 27, 1964, just 15 years old, Ed snapped. After an argument, he shot his grandmother Maud once in the head and twice in the back with a .22 rifle, then stabbed her post-mortem. When his grandfather returned from grocery shopping, Ed shot him in the driveway to spare him the sight of his wife's body, or so he claimed. He later told police he just wanted to see what it felt like to kill Grandma. Court psychiatrists diagnosed him with paranoid schizophrenia and committed him to Atascadero State Hospital, a maximum security facility for mentally ill criminals. But there, doctors disagreed. He showed no delusions or hallucinations. They re-diagnosed him with a personality trait disturbance, passive-aggressive type. His IQ tested at 136, later 145, placing him in the genius range. Ed was a model prisoner. He trained to administer psychiatric tests, even developing an overt hostility scale. But this knowledge helped him manipulate the system. He learned how to fake sanity from fellow inmates. On his 21st birthday, December 18, 1969, Ed was paroled and released into his mother's care in Aptos, California. Clarnell, now remarried as Strandberg and working at UC Santa Cruz, continued her abuse. Their arguments were explosive. She'd belittle him relentlessly. Ed attended community college, dreaming of becoming a police officer, but was rejected for being too tall. He worked odd jobs then for the California Division of Highways. A motorcycle accident netted him a $15,000 settlement, which he used to buy a yellow 1969 Ford Galaxy, his hunting vehicle. For a while, he picked up over 150 female hitchhikers without incident, practicing conversations. But his urges grew. He described a craving like an addiction, fueled by rage toward his mother. Women became surrogates for her. In March 1973, he even got engaged to a 17-year-old high schooler, but the darkness was closing in. The crimes began on May 7, 1972. Ed picked up two 18-year-old Fresno State students, Marianne Pess and Anita Lucchesa, hitchhiking from Berkeley to Stanford. He drove them to a secluded area near Alameda, handcuffed Pess, and locked Anita in the trunk. He stabbed and strangled both, then took their bodies home. There, he photographed them, engaged in necrophilia, dismembered them, and dumped parts near Loma Prieta Mountain. Pace's skull was found months later. Anita's remains never were. Ed later said he wanted the victims as possessions to control them completely. 4 months later, on September 14, 1972, he targeted 15-year-old Aiko Koo, a Korean dance student hitchhiking to class. He choked her unconscious, assaulted her, and killed her. Again, he took her home, admired the body, performed necrophilia, dismembered it, and disposed of the parts. Her mother reported her missing, but had no leads. The spree escalated in 1973. On January 7th, Ed picked up 18-year-old Cindy Schall on the Cabrillo College campus. He shot her in a wooded area, hid her body in his mother's closet overnight, then engaged in necrophilia, removed the bullet to avoid detection, and dismembered her in the bathtub. He buried her severed head in the garden, facing his mother's bedroom window, as a twisted joke. He said he wanted people to look up to her. The rest he threw off a cliff. Parts washed up. They showed power saw cuts. By now, Santa Cruz was terrified. Women vanished. Body parts appeared on beaches. Ed obtained a UCSC parking sticker to blend in. On February 5, 1973, after another fight with his mother, he went searching for victims and found two more. 23-year-old Rosalind Thorpe and 20-year-old Alice Liu, both UC Santa Cruz students. He shot Thorpe in the head after picking her up, then Liu, missing shots at first before hitting her temple. He beheaded them in his car, took the bodies home for necrophilia and dismemberment, removed bullets, and dumped remains near Eden Canyon and Route 1. Some parts were found soon after. Ed's methods were calculated. He used his size and charm to lure victims, then overpowered them. His high IQ helped him evade capture. He even hung out with cops at a bar called the Jury Room, listening to case updates. The climax came on April 20th, 1973, Easter weekend. Awakened by his mother, returning home drunk, Ed decided it was time. He bludgeoned Clarnell with a claw hammer while she slept, slit her throat, decapitated her, and humiliated the corpse, screaming at the head for an hour, throwing darts at it and smashing her face. He cut out her tongue and larynx, jamming them in the garbage disposal. To create an alibi, he invited over her best friend, 59-year-old Sarah Taylor Hallett, and strangled her when she arrived. He hid the bodies, left a sarcastic note for police, and fled to Pueblo, Colorado. On April 23rd, Ed called Santa Cruz police from a payphone, confessing everything. They dismissed it as a prank at first, but when he called back and spoke to a known officer, they took him seriously. He waited calmly for arrest, eating at a diner. Ed later explained the co-eds were surrogates for his mother. Ending her life ended the urge. Indicted on 8 counts of first-degree murder on May 7, 1973, grandparents excluded as juvenile crimes, Ed pleaded not guilty by reason of insanity. 3 psychiatrists testified he was sane under California's Monotony rule. He knew right from wrong and acted with malice. He claimed a split personality but requested death by torture. Due to a death penalty moratorium, he received 8 concurrent life sentences on November 8, 1973. At California Medical Facility in Vacaville, Ed has been a model prisoner. He narrated over 5,000 hours of audiobooks for the blind until a 2015 stroke. He intimidated fellow killer Herbert Mullen and befriended FBI agents like John Douglas and Robert Ressler, providing insights into serial killers' minds, ironically helping profile others like him. Diagnosed with antisocial, narcissistic, and schizotypal disorders, he's been denied parole multiple times, most recently in 2024. Now 77, wheelchair-bound with health issues, his next hearing is in 2031. Edmund Kemper's story is a chilling reminder of how childhood trauma, unchecked rage, and high intelligence can create a monster. His crimes, driven by misogyny and maternal hatred, left a scar on Santa Cruz. Yet his cooperation with authorities gave us tools to catch others. What do you think? Nature or nurture? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this, like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more true crime deep dives. Stay safe out there.